far too much fruit. We're going to run short most likely. We. That is its word.
For your information, I am not an it. I am a she, and one would parse it thus.
I know. Nominative, her. Dative, hers. Possessive, her.
No, hers.
Oh.
And do you know what my name is?
Oh, cripes.
No, it's not Christ. My name is Eve, and you may call me that whenever you wish to beckon me.
That would be superfluous.
Where did he get that word? I don't think I've ever used it before.
I will have this shelter to myself.
Or if you should tell me his, it would be sweeter in my ears than any other sound. What is your name?
I do not wish to be disturbed.
Perhaps you've forgotten it. Though he has a good vocabulary, he talks very little. Perhaps he's not very bright, and being sensitive about it, wishes to conceal it. Have you forgotten your name?
You are not going to name me, for I have a name, and I know what it is.
Well, you're not an Albert. Or an Alphonse. Or an Archibald.
That's because I am Adam.
You don't even look like an Adam.
I am Adam!
Yes, you proved my point.
I escaped last Tuesday, traveled 2 days to a secluded place, and built me a shelter.
But the excursion we made was the best.
Though I covered my tracks, she hunted me out. I was obliged to return, but will presently emigrate when the occasion offers.
Adam, why is it that tigers eat on strawberries when their teeth would indicate that they would eat on other creatures?
That's foolish. They'd have to kill to do that, which would introduce what I know is called death.
The buzzard is ailing because he has no meat to feed on.
Death, as far as I'm concerned, has not yet entered the park, which is a pity on some accounts.
As time goes on, I'm educating myself. For example, I have learned that water never runs uphill, except in the dark. Personally, I feel it's best to prove things by actual experiment. That way, you know. And I feel the same way. That apple tree.
You know, she's been trying to pick apples from that tree again, so I clotted her out of it.
No one was looking.
Do you consider that sufficient justification for chancing such dangerous things?
Your grammar is really improving.
I know, but don't change the subject.
But I feel that the only way one can learn something is through experimentation, or rather a kind of instinct, or one just knows something.
Oh?
Yes, for example, I know that I was taken from a rib out of your body.
That's foolish, outlandish, and at least doubtful. I have not missed any rib.
Perhaps because I'm always at yourself. It isn't fair for me. That's for sure. Sometimes when the water is still, I look for an answer. And I can I do not know. For beauty is a secret that is kept from me. reflected. I even made them up. The question is always there. Can I be with her? I know the answer lies not in any change of reflection, but in the consistency of that.
About an hour after sunup, as I was riding through a field where thousands of animals were grazing, when all of a sudden they broke into a tempest of frightful noises. And I knew Adam had eaten the apple, and death had entered the world. They ate my horse. They would have eaten me too if I had stayed, which I didn't. I found this nice place outside the park. Until she found me out. You see what you've done? You've made me lose all of my property.
You know, I never did understand real estate.
You are willful, stubborn, irrational, and incapable of rationality.
Fine, here. Have an apple.
It was against my principles. But I find that principles have no real force unless one is well fed.
Well, I suppose that since we no longer live in the garden, we should get to work.
Work? What's that?
Something that we shall have to do for the rest of our lives. It is dictated. And so we worked, and time wove into a pattern of days into weeks, and weeks into months. And after a while,
She has named it Cain. She caught it a while ago while I was up country trapping. She caught it a couple miles back in the timber, away from our place.
it resembles us in some ways, and I think it may be a relation.
This is an error in my judgment. The difference in size warrants that it is a different and new kind of creature. A fish, perhaps. Though when I put it in the water to see, it sank, and she snatched it out before there was an opportunity for that experiment to determine the matter.
How can you be so unfeeling?
I still think it's a fish. She's indifferent about what it is. It may well be that it is not a fish. Though I can't get a chance to see if it can swim or not. All right, if it's not a fish, then it's an enigma.
That's a nice word, Adam.
If not an enigma, then it's some kind of bug. If it dies, I will have to take it apart and see what its arrangements are.
The months went by, and somehow an explanation still eluded him.
Ah, the short front legs and long hind ones indicate that it is of the kangaroo family. And since I discovered this, I shall call it Kangaroom Adamese.